yoeFW Has Proxy Gate into Proxy Oracle Build. And I first saw him do this in WCS Season 2, I believe, of 2015 against Bunny. And it's just a very aggressive build, very cheesy indeed. And the build order, I did put it down there. It's going to be in the description. So immediately send your probe to the opponent's main base. Now, if you get spotted, like let's say if they're walling off, for example, you still go through with the build. You just have to be very careful with your probe. Can't lose it, can't afford to lose it. So you are going to probe up until 10 here. So it's going to be a 10 out of 10 pylon in the opponent's main base. Now, in Masters level, they tend to not wall off sometimes against Protoss, so this works well with the meta. But like I said, even if they spot you with their wall off, you still go through with the build. So I queue up one probe here. So you notice I started making probe instantly back at home. And so next it's going to be constant probe production, by the way, and next it's going to be a pylon back at home. Once again, the build order is in the description. And shortly after, you're going to get your first gas with the constant probe production. Now, in a scenario like this where the gateway isn't spotted yet, you want to go ahead and chrono out the zealot first, but if the gateway is being targeted down by SCVs or marines, you definitely want to get the cyber core first back at home. So now I have to save up for my cyber core here. Put 3 on gas as fast as you can. Now I send the probe that's inside his base, I send it to my proxy Stargate location once the first zealot is done. And you don't want to get surrounded. You want to deal as much damage with the zealot as possible, so you try to micro it as best as possible. Constant zealot production, constant probe production. Now when a Reaper pops out, by the way, with this build, you always want to get the mothership core before the Stargate because good Terrans will obviously want to harass with that Reaper. You want to keep your ground safe. And so usually I have a zealot chasing the Reaper while the other ones come out. And as you can see, a lot of little multitasking. It's obviously an easy build compared to macro, but it's good to practice multitasking, I suppose. Now you always want to target workers, and if you're getting surrounded, you always want to target the weaker ones with the zealot. So as you can see, 5-minute Stargate, it's going to be ready by 6 minutes. So it's basically a 6-minute oracle with a 1 gateway pressure here. So like I said, I saw Has do this build in WCS and just couldn't help but like it. And so you want to patrol the mothership core. You want to start warp gate as soon as you finish the Stargate. I mean, you start the Stargate, so I forgot to do that here. And you want to get a pylon at 23 out of 26 supply. I was a little late on the pylon here as my Stargate is already finished. So you obviously want to save a chrono for the Oracle, and you want to have a fully saturated base. So usually 16 out of 24 with 3 on each gas does the job. You want to add gateways whenever you can. I go with the 3 gate. Now in this particular game, the oracles actually kill him, but in the build order you see my benchmark is 2 void rays and gateway units at around 10 minutes. And now this obviously depends a lot on how the early game goes. This guy took a ton of damage, which is why this played out the way it did. This build's a 50% win ratio in Masters League. It's not the best. It's just really fun to do. You're constantly pushing forward. Now in the build order I did write, if he already has a turret, you cancel the second oracle when you start void ray production. And that's pretty much going to be it for this game. The 2 oracles killed him, which does happen a lot, and sometimes they'll even leave one with the zealots. So this guy was persistent in staying, but let's see what happens here. So as you can see, I was waiting for that second void there, but he just tapped out. So yeah, that's basically the build order. If you guys want the details, it's in the description. Thanks for watching.